Hi everybody, welcome back. My name is Amanda Song and this is Growth Mindset. Did you know that your mindset can actually affect your mental health? The way you think of yourself and see yourself in the world can impact your mental health by either worsening or reducing the effects of things like depression and anxiety. I thought this was crazy, so I first heard about this in Carol Dweck's book Mindset, and because I had experienced something like this firsthand when I was a student in college, suffering with both depression and a fixed mindset, I really wanted to look more into that and see if that was the case. So I've gathered some information for you that I think might be helpful, especially if you are still a student or if you're someone who struggles a lot with things like depression and anxiety. When it comes to depression and anxiety, it can help at least reduce symptoms. At least that's what some of the research shows, if you can cultivate more of a growth mindset. This year, for the first time, pretty much since I was a teenager and I started to feel these symptoms, I've actually been managing it really well, and I haven't fallen into like a deep depressive mood, at least so far this year. How? I really think it's because I've been focusing more on my mindset and things such as self-talk, how I view myself in the world, and learning to develop the skills that are usually the like underlying reason for my anxieties. Let's look at some of the research first. So the first thing is that mindset does matter for mental health. Carol Dweck touches upon this in her book. She examines a group of college students who have depression, and then she divides them based on whether they have a fixed mindset or growth mindset. First, let's recap the fixed versus growth mindset. I talk a lot about this on this channel, so if you don't know what it is yet, please go check out one of the videos linked below. So studies show that people can have different mindsets in regards to different aspects of their character. So for instance, you can have one mindset about your academic abilities, and you can have a completely different mindset about your social skills. That's exactly what I experienced. In a study from a group of Harvard researchers, they examined teenagers. So this is kind of like anecdotal. We don't exactly know for sure whether it's the same for adults, but they examined teenagers, and then later on they examined college students. And they saw that among teenagers, having a fixed mindset, believing that their personality and traits were fixed, correlated with increased mental health problems and increased onset of the mental health symptoms that go along with depression and anxiety. Whereas when they did a little test and they gave one group of teenagers some advice on how to actually cultivate their growth mindset, they followed up with those teenagers 9 months later and found that even accounting for all of the other aspects of their lives, such as whether their parents have depression, those teens actually showed much less symptoms of the depression and anxiety that they were expected to show. So this is just like the beginning stages of this kind of research, but it's at least hopeful. And the reason why I'm sharing this with you is because I think it worked for me too. I had a growth mindset academically. I viewed myself as being able to improve my grades and my academic success and even get like a better career based on how much effort I put into my schoolwork. But I had a very fixed mindset about my social skills. If you are someone who suffers from depression, you already feel bad enough about yourself because you're not able to meet society's expectations of like how energetic you should be or how social you should be. But on top of that, although I was suffering from depression at the same time, I had been through a terrible breakup, I was having family issues, and I just felt really, really low about myself in general. I was suffering from depression, but I was still able to keep up with my schoolwork. So because I had a growth mindset towards my schoolwork, even though I was suffering from depression, I continued to go to class and study harder. On the other hand, my depression and anxiety got me in my social life because I had a fixed mindset about my social life. And that's where my fixed mindset got the best of me, because I was depressed first, and on the other hand, I believed that I didn't have good social skills, and I believed that I maybe wasn't like a friendly and kind person. So that hindered my ability to go out and meet people. I was deeply afraid of people judging me. Even if I didn't do anything wrong to them, I constantly believed that if I tried to talk to a new person, they would quickly realize how much of a loser I am. And those are both key signs of social anxiety and a fixed mindset. As my depression and anxiety worsened, so did that fixed mindset. While my roommate was out making new friends, I became very jealous and insecure. I shied away from making new friends, and I became very jealous of her new friends, because with my fixed mindset, I felt like if she's making new friends, it means that she doesn't need me anymore. And I felt like I can't make new friends because no one will like me, everyone will judge me. That's So that's just my personal experience of how you can have a growth mindset, and that can actually somewhat help you if you're suffering from a mental illness, such as depression or anxiety. And on the other hand, how having a fixed mindset can only compound those feelings and make it worse. So if you're suffering from depression or anxiety, you already doubt yourself in whatever setting, and you feel really bad about yourself, and you sometimes lack motivation. You don't even have the energy to get up and go to class. But having a fixed mindset on top of that makes everything worse. The good news is that this year I have not fallen into those deep stages of depression and anxiety that I usually do. Even given the extreme circumstances that we're going through with the pandemic and everything. The reason for that, I think, is because I finally started to see myself as being able to change. I forgave myself for doing those terrible things, which I had been holding against myself. I'm sure if you have anxiety or depression, you know that feeling. Now I'm starting to see myself as, it's not that I'm a bad friend, or it's not that I don't have social skills, it's just that I need to work on them more. So I've started trying to actively make better friendships and improve on my relationships. Just using like small daily things, like consciously remembering, like even setting calendar reminders, reminding me to like reach out to someone and ask how they're doing. By reading more self-help books and learning more about the growth mindset, I think I've been able to at least manage my seasonal depression this year and keep it at bay. It definitely hasn't hindered me as much as it normally does, and I'll continue to let you know how it goes. So if you want to learn more about the growth mindset and how it could maybe help you manage some of your symptoms as well, stick around, like this video, give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and click the bell to be notified. We talk a lot about growth mindset and self-help in general, especially as it relates to mental health and success or failure on this channel. Come back and ask me questions if you have any. All right, thank you. See you next time.